We'll be referring back to page 21 where we're graphing quadratic functions in standard form to get the steps to work example 2. So first we want to know what our A, B, and C is. So we can say that A is the number 1, B is 4, C is 5. We want to know what the axis of symmetry is. So remember we had the formula x is equal to the opposite of b over 2a. So in this case, it's going to be a negative 4 over 2 times 1, which is 2. So negative 2. So our axis of symmetry is going to be negative 2, and we can sketch that in right there going through negative 2. Once we find that, then to find the vertex, we're going to use this x value and calculate what the y is that goes with it. So we have f of negative 2. That's going to be a negative 2 in parentheses squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 5. So that's going to be 4 minus 8 plus 5. So we have 9 minus 8, which is going to be 1. So our vertex then is going to be negative 2, 1, and we will mark it right there on our x-axis, on our axis of symmetry. All right, so that's 1 point. We're going to use the y-intercept to find a second point. So we'll let x be 0 and find out what f of 0 is. So that's going to be 0 squared plus 4 times 0 plus 5, and that's going to be 5. So our y-intercept will be 0, 5, and we'll mark that right here. Then we'll want to find one more point, so let's use the negative 1. So let's figure out, I was going to put point. So we'll do f of negative 1, which will be negative 1 to the second power plus 4 times negative 1 plus 5. So that'll be 1 minus 4 plus 5. So that's 6 minus 4 is 2. So we get the ordered pair, negative 1, and then here we're coming up with 2. So we'll plot that on there, negative 1, 2. And if things don't seem to make sense, you might double check your arithmetic on those. All right, so then once we get our points, we're going to use symmetry. So if this is 2 to the right from the axis of symmetry, we're going to go 2 to the left for another point. This one's 1 to the right, so we're going to go 1 to the left. And then we will draw our parabola into place. All right, so let's do that again on the B example. So here, A is going to be negative 1. B is going to be negative 4. And if we needed a C, which we don't really, C would be 0 for this problem right here. All right, so our axis of symmetry is going to be x is equal to the opposite of b over 2a. So the opposite of b will be positive 1 over 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. So I get negative 1, 8. Did I do that wrong? I did, didn't I? So let's do the opposite of b, which gives us a positive 4 over 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2. And that's going to give us negative 2 for the axis of symmetry. So let's just sketch that in. Again, negative 2, which is right here. So we'll just kind of sketch it. And then to find the vertex, we'll do f of negative 2. We'll plug that in here. So careful. Remember, the negative is separate from the x squared, and that we're going to need to square first and then multiply by that negative 1. So I'm going to have a negative times, and I'll put my negative 2 in a parentheses and square it, minus 4 times negative 2. Negatives are always a little bit harder. So I'm going to square this first and get a positive 4, and this will make it being negative 4 with a negative in the front. The negative times negative is going to be plus 8, and we get 4. So our vertex then is going to be the x is negative 2, and the y is 4. So negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll mark it. The y-intercept is going to be f of 0, which is going to give us negative 0 squared minus 4 times 0, so that's 0. So our y-intercept is going to be 0, 0 right here. One more point, we'll calculate then, I'll just write point. We will do then f of negative 1, and that's going to give us, again, the negative of negative 1 squared minus 4 times negative 1. So it's positive 1, this makes it negative 1, and then plus 4, which is going to be 3. So our point's going to be negative 1, 3. And so, again, we want to make sure that that comes out in the right spot where it works. Use symmetry, that point, and then 2 to the left gives us this point, and then we can sketch our parabola in. We'll stop there and we'll pick up example 3 in class.